Satanism has made strides in recent years towards being taken far more seriously than it has in the past, and it's come a long way. There are currently two major religions that fall under the umbrella of Satanism: the Church of Satan, or Levian Satanism, and Luciferianism. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There have been many different offshoots and subsects of Satanism, some of which were pretty out there in their beliefs. Actually, the two predominant types of Satanism in our society aren't all that strange, but as with any religion, people can translate things to suit their aims. Some of the more odd brands of the belief system through the years are to Satanism what the Seventh-day Adventists are to Christianity, or the FLDS are to Mormonism. And that's perhaps taking it lightly. Prepare yourself for some weirdness. Here are the 11 types of Satanism. The Church of Satan. Founded by Anton LaVey, the Church of Satan is the dominant form of Satanism in the modern world. It's not what the initiated would expect. The church is actually atheistic, believing in no specific deity other than oneself. You are your own God in the Church of Satanism, as long as you allow yourself to be. As a Satanist, you worship yourself. You're an I-theist. The pursuit of knowledge, pleasure, happiness, and self-love are the dominant tenets of the church. Surprise? Church of Satan Facts and Fiction. While the rituals are an inextricable part of the Church of Satan, Satanists do not practice sacrifice because they do not worship deities. While Satanists encourage sex, they are opposed to sex with animals and pedophilia, and both acts result in expulsion from the church. Satanists also do not take part in the ritual abuse, and has often been espoused in the mainstream media. The Satanic Temple. This group doesn't fit into most people's idea of what Satanism would be. Above all, they encourage benevolence and empathy, as well as the embrace of common sense and justice. Like Levian Satanism, this sect sees Satan not as a deity, but as a symbol of rebellion. Their main edicts are to follow science and critical thinking rather than superstition or dogma. The temple recently made the news when they erected a statue of Baphomet, an idol associated with the Knights Templar, on the public property in Detroit in response to the city building a statue of the Ten Commandments. They also held a pink mass at the funeral of the Westboro Baptist Church leader Phelps's mother. Gay couples were welcomed to the pink mass and encouraged to publicly display affection and wish for Phelps's mother to be gay in the afterlife. Luciferianism. Luciferians are similar in some ways to Levian Satanists, but they consider themselves more focused on the spiritual path than Levians, who they see as most concerned with carnal and earthly pleasures. Luciferians are concerned with the pursuit of knowledge. They worship Lucifer, mostly as a symbol, but some as a deity, rather than Satan. To them, he embodies the self-determination and liberation from the slave mentality. Luciferians' main goal is to help people take responsibility for their own life and act as an individual moral agent, using the full potential of their own genius and thereby optimizing possibilities. For Luciferians, the story of Adam and Eve is equivalent to the Greek myth of Prometheus, a story about illumination and receiving knowledge and technology. Christian-based duotheism. This is a very small sect of Satanism that differs greatly from the rest. Theistic Satanists believe in the Christian Bible, but in the war between Satan and the Lord, they're on the side of Satan. Transcendental Satanism. Matt, the Lord Zane, took some LSD one day and had a vision of Satan being cast out of heaven. He then had a vision about a man who made a pact with the devil before birth to do his will. Ostensibly, this man was Zane. Transcendental Satanists believe in a form of spiritual evolution where the end goal is uniting with the so-called satanic aspect. Setians. The Temple of Set was founded by Michael Aquino, who was actually the right-hand man of the Church of Satan founder Anton LaVey. Aquino was instrumental in forming the church, but left after an argument with LaVey. Unlike Satanists who don't believe in a deity, Setians worship Set, the Egyptian god of violence, disorder, and darkness. They consider him the original Satanist. Setians were to achieve the goal of achieving Zephyr, which basically means going through a divine experience. Through magic, meditation, and self-development, one can have more divine experiences and eventually achieve achieve godhood, the ultimate goal. The Satanic Reds. The Satanic Reds see Satan as a dark force that has existed since the beginning of time. Satan is akin to the darkness permeating everything. Reds believe one's nature and lineage is weaved into an intricate web that is naturally at peace with one's own chakra flow. They believe each being is motivated to constantly change and evolve, to go against one's own nature, and is considered an act of evil. Polytheistic Satanism. Polytheistic Satanism is the belief in many gods as opposed to just one. The New York City-based group Church of Azazel is open to all Satanists, occultists, and followers of the so-called left-hand path. They revere several deities like Satan/Azazel, Lilith, Prometheus, Ishtar, Pan, and Lucifer Sophia. Like most types of Satanism, they encourage the pursuit of knowledge, embracing sexuality and anything else they think a conservative would likely to abhor. The Hand of Death. There is no absolute proof that the satanic cult actually exists. Satanic panic was hysteria that spread through the 80s and 90s. When serial killer Henry Lee Lucas was arrested after having killed at least 11 people to help with the right-hand man Otis Toole, who claimed they committed the murders at the behest of the satanic cult called the Hand of Death. They claimed the group had a paramilitary training camp in Florida where Toole and Lucas were trained and that they went on to commit murders and child abductions for the group. All we know about the Hand of Death beyond that is they are supposedly a nationwide cult that counts some of the world's most powerful men as members. Of course, this all fits a little too perfectly into the cliché conspiracy theories. The Process Church of the Final Judgment. While the Hand of Death may sound too crazy to be true, the Process Church isn't exactly mundane, and there is no doubt that it existed. In fact, David Berkowitz, aka the Son of Sam, counted himself as a member, and many believe that Charles Manson copied his beliefs from the church's doctrines. Members of the church even came to visit Manson in jail after his arrest. The Process Church was founded by Mary Ann and Robert de Grimston and flourished throughout the 70s and 80s. Many call it a cross between Christianity, Satanism, and Scientology. The Process Church Theology. The de Grimstons began as active members of the Church of Scientology. They left to start a splinter group which developed into something entirely unique. The group is often considered satanic because they worship both Christ and Satan. They believe that Satan would become reconciled with Christ and they would come together at the end to judge humanity. Christ would judge while Satan would get to execute judgments. Their beliefs are partially based on those of mathematician Alfred North Whitehead. They believed we are all equal parts Christ and Satan. The Process Church has also published their own magazine for much of their existence, much like the Church of Scientology. The Cult of Cthulhu. This group actually worships a creature in the stories of writer H.P. Lovecraft. They believe there are two versions of reality. Generally accepted reality is what, as they call it, is an illusion. True reality lies beyond what we believe to be true. The cult believes in the reality of chaos that existed when the Dark Ones presided over the universe. The Dark Ones are Cthulhu, Satan, Nyarlathotep, Yog-Sothoth, and Athela, who the group believes went to bring great knowledge to humanity but were stopped. The goal, then, is to become enlightened and develop true consciousness. The group's leader, Vanguard Satanist, says, "There is no reality. What the human mind calls reality does not exist."